Hey, what's up, guys? Chris here. So this video is going to be multi-purpose. I'm having more problems with the Qidi X Max 3 again. They sent me all this new stuff that seemed great and had all this cooling capability that it didn't have before, which, was very kind of them, and they're standing behind the warranty and whatnot. But there's a flaw in their design that's just not. You just can't make it better with cooling, because so their hot end, this hot end, right? This is. So when you unscrew these small 1.5 millimeter screws that go into the heatsink, when you unscrew those, and this will unthread, right? So not only does the nozzle unthread from here, but this part unthreads from. Let me show you. I have this one apart. I'll take a break apart because I literally just had to swap parts because the $100 Diamondback nozzle that I had in one of these literally snapped as I'm trying to turn it out, because it's a diamond tip, but the thing is made of brass. So that's really kind of, honestly, Diamondback, that if you guys ever see this, that's kind of a shitty design, dude. That's like really a shitty way to do that. You make a diamond tip nozzle and you make it out of the most frail metal that there is, that you could find. Brass. Why use brass with diamonds? You couldn't make a steel hot end. There's steel hot ends everywhere. You couldn't produce one today with the diamond tip. You had to use brass. Anyway, don't get me started on that. This is the remainder of it. As you can see, it broke right at the end, so there's nothing left of it that's usable. And the tip is, I don't know where or care at this point. So this comes out, right? And in here, you can see it's hollow. So now your nozzle threads into the bottom of this, but this threads in the top. If you guys can, if it's focusing. The other part of the video is this camera that I'm using. So I was Christmas shopping with my fiance on Christmas Eve because she's a nurse. She works a crazy amount. I work a crazy amount. And then I do these videos, which I really don't have time to do, but I do them anyway. So between everything combined between the two of us, it's very difficult to have any time. So we were shopping for each other at the same time together in the same store on Christmas Eve. That's how that worked. And I saw, when I was shopping for her, I saw this camcorder, and I've been using a DSLR camera, which stops at 30 minutes and drives me nuts, and it's like a $1,000 DSLR camera, and it gets incredible quality video because I have multiple lenses that are about as expensive. So a couple are more. One of them is more than the camera. The other two are like between the two of them, it's the camera again. So the lenses are really good and the camera's really good, but it just won't record over 30 minutes because it's because of the import-export stuff. If it records, it has to qualify as a camcorder as well. Anyway, so I figured it's probably a good idea for me to get a camcorder. I see this 4K camcorder. It's a Poloroid. This is the one it is. What happened here? I'm printing. So because of, I'll explain it to you more after because I keep jumping back and forth, but I'm printing a spacer for the BL Touch on the Qidi printer. After all this crap, I'm getting an engineering grade 3D printer because I got this one because of the heated chamber, the 350 Celsius. I'm not going to be able to use it as that. This thing has problems every time you get it up over a certain temperature, so you really can only use it as like an under 300 degree temperature printer with a larger area without having, significant failures on a regular basis. Anyways, the Polaroid is this camera right here. It doesn't really have a model number on here. It just says it's a 4K Polaroid. It doesn't really even have a model number. It doesn't have it on the camera either. I've been looking for it. Anyways, it was cheap. It was $150, and I'm not the type of person that buys cheap shit, but I haven't bought anything like a camcorder other than the GoPro and is not the same thing. But the GoPro is the only video camera I've bought in a very long time, so I thought they had just gone down that much. But as it turns out, it's just a cheap 4K camera. It's just not a very good one. I'm testing that right now. This is the first video I'm doing with it, so I don't know. I'll see how the video quality is. It looks pretty good on the screen, but I don't think it's going to be. I mean, the features or the lack of features and the lack of how wide the view can be because the lens is so small are parts of why it's that inexpensive. So I ended up looking into it further, and I ended up ordering a $1,000 Sony with a Zeiss lens, because if you guys watch my airgun stuff, I might have mentioned I have a Zeiss LRPS5, and Carl Zeiss makes incredibly awesome optics, like really awesome optics. So when I saw that lens on it, I just went for it. And I got it on Best Buy. I ordered it just yesterday. It's supposed to be coming just like tomorrow or the next day. So I'll do another comparative video with that, so you guys can see it. Not right now. You guys can see it versus each other. Let me see. It's an AX53. That's the one I got. Sony AX53 4K. So it was $10.99. Where is it? Yeah, the autofocus isn't all that good. And I never have my phone turned like that. I can't stand it, but I'm going to do it so you guys can see it. If it'll work. Hello? Really, dude? My phone's just messing all up. One more thing to have a problem with, right? Anyways, it's a 14 Pro. I just bought my fiance a 15 Pro, but I didn't feel like I needed a new phone. Hopefully I actually don't, and it'll start working. Come on, dude, why don't you rotate a new? Anyways, this is the camera. Hopefully you can see it. I don't know, I can't get it to turn. It's being a pain in my ass. So let's make that smaller. So it was $10.99 at Best Buy. And you can get like a refurbished one. They didn't have one local to me, a refurbished one, so I had to get this one, but they have them refurbished at a much lower price. It was like $8 something instead of $10.99. This is like $1,200 out the door. So hopefully it makes that big of a difference, but I mean, the Carl Zeiss lenses I know are incredible, and this has a much wider view, like a wider angle. So again, like right now, the little bit that you can see, I have to stand like right in the right spot, but this will be more broad, and you'll be able to see more of the room and more of, I'll be able to position myself better. And it doesn't. This one did come with a remote control, which I like, but the other one doesn't have a remote control, but it does have a function, a Wi-Fi function, where the Wi-Fi, you can use your phone as a remote, which I don't necessarily like as a plain old remote, but I don't like as much as a plain old remote, but what are you going to do? It is what it is. So I'm going to see how that goes. I do like with the GoPro, I have the little remote that I got separately that works with it, but the GoPro, I think, it's an action camera. It's more of something for certain videos. It's going to be great, and it's very small. But these are also incredibly small. I can't really show it to you while I'm using it, but it fits. This is the case for it. So it's this small. That's the case for it. It's pretty damn small. So it fits right in your palm. That's it's basically it fits right in your palm, so it's pretty small. Anyways, the clarity looks pretty good right now. It's in 4K, 60 frames a second. I gotta see how that translates on the screen when it's done. But you see, the field of view is so narrow. I have to move it back every time I get close to it. Anyways, that's not going to be an issue when the new one comes, because this was just an impulse buy, and I didn't really do my research. I just assumed that they got that cheap because Poloroid is a long-standing name, but they're not a long-standing, high-quality name like Sony. So anyways, it is what it is, but I'll let you guys see this video and then the next one, and you can see the differences in the video quality of the two camcorders. Obviously, I'm using my exterior Sennheiser microphone set, which that was expensive. It was like $800 for the receiver and the transmitter, the one that the body mic that is right here. Well, I gotta move over there up here so you can see it, but there's one on top of the camcorder that's the receiver, but they synchronize together perfectly. They have a radio frequency, so they go an incredible range. I think they're in a low frequency range, so they go really, really far. They go like 300, 400, as far as a typical two-way radio, like a handheld two-way radio. Anyways, the hot ends come into two pieces like that, and these threads. Sorry to keep jumping back and forth. I'm trying to squeeze two topics in one video, so I apologize if it's a little disconcerting. This you see this part right here is also threaded, and yeah, the autofocus sucks. So that's something I'm looking forward to having better on the other one. And then this threads into here, so now then your nozzle also threads in. So these threads leak, and what results from that is this. All this melted shit in here. I don't know, you guys can't really see because it doesn't want to focus right. But yeah, all that melted crap up in between the end of the hot end and right where those threads are. It's like right in here. It's all melted right in here. It's like right up in there. You know, in between those two parts, which come apart. So those threads are leaking, and they're coarse threads. So I don't know, you probably can't see because it doesn't seem to be focusing in very well, but they're coarse threads. They're very coarse threads. There's 3 threads on that entire length. So they were bound to leak. I mean, at least make them fine threads so that there's more space for them to get tight and there's less of a gap between them. And I mean, I would use like a thread locker, but even my red Loctite 277 I use on automotive is with heat, especially with that much heat, it's gonna loosen right up. And even like Blue Block that I use on HVAC stuff, Blue Block might actually do it. That's like one of the heaviest HVAC thread sealants that you can get. So that might actually work. I did order 2 new hot ends. I think at this point, this printer, it's not a bad printer, but they advertise it and they made it capable of temperatures that the parts that they made it with just can't handle. So the only other alternative is I've seen some people made an upgraded carriage where it has a totally different hot end it can take, the Dragon, I think, hot end. So I may look into that further and print it, and it's fully printed. You use a high temperature material, like I think they use like PETG or ABS or ASA or something. I'll probably do ASA with the Wham Bam plate on one of the reliable printers that I have, the Bamboos. And then I'm looking into an engineering grade printer because I'm just sick of this. And recently I had some water damage here. I had my roof drain not be able to keep up with the rain, and that came into the building. So I didn't want to do the insurance claim because my insurance was going to go up, but I did it because it got to an extent where it's like, you know, if it was $5-10 grand, I might have done it, but it was like 46 with damage. So I put in that's, you know, my prices. I'm doing the work, so I give them prices of a contractor. So I'm making something of a profit, but, you know, I had nothing crazy. I'm getting the work done in my building, but I figure with that money, I'll get the printer. I mean, it's just, I'm trying to justify it somehow. But anyways, I'm looking at, there's been a few, if you guys have any suggestions, please let me know on printers that are capable of higher than the QIDI anyway, that are actually capable of that advertised to be 350 capable, and when you print at 350, they fall apart or leak, or the filament leaks, the liquid plastic leaks, and then they freeze and seize together and break $100 nozzles and all that fun stuff. This printer I've spent more time working on this printer than both of the bamboos combined times a multiple of probably 10 minimum. Just working on that QIDI printer, the time I've spent making modifications or repairs to try to get it to work properly, it has been so astronomical. My time would have made me more than the printer cost. If I had been working during that amount of time, I would have made more than I spent on the printer. So that just goes to show you what a value it is. It's not. You may as well just throw your money away or buy something useful. So that's what I'm trying to do. If anybody has any suggestions, I'm going to look up something that's capable of printing peak or PPS, which I did use this printer for PPS, and it seemed to work okay with that. It did work okay with that. But I'm just printing PC right now, and there's no reason it shouldn't work with PC, but the PC, when it's getting liquefied, is just coming out of the gaps. I mean, I don't know. It's got to be the thread thing. I mean, I don't know why that's not one piece on this printer like it is on most others, but I'm just going to open a blank page so I can look up peak capable printers. Let's see. And then if you guys have any suggestions on this, I'm very open to it. Industrial grade 3D printers. I was going to do peak capable, but let's see. So I want to be under $5,000. I don't really want to spend. I mean, the MakerBot replicator is in the range I would like to be in. I don't want to do resin. Let me see. 3D drinks, industrial 3D printers, peak, PEKK, Ultim. Let's see what this is. What they have there. I don't want to spend. No, these are going to be very expensive. Those are massive. I don't want to spend $10,000 on it. I want something in like the $3,000 to $5,000-$6,000 range. I don't want to go any higher than that. I would love it to be a dual extruder. That would be nice. Zortrax, dual extrusion 3D printer. I've seen one I've seen one 3D printer that was a dual extruder, but it had one hot end that was hot enough to be able to do those kind of filaments, and the other end was like a standard PLA, which I don't really understand why that would be that way. I mean, I don't know why you'd be mixing those two and have one hot end that can go that hot and one hot end that stays under 300. It's kind of crazy. It's ridiculous to me. But maybe it's me. Maybe people do have a purpose for that. I don't see it, but that doesn't mean it's not there. So, anyways, works in LPD plus dual extrusion technology, speed mode, even 3 times faster printing, metal printing capability. Oh wow, okay. This is a Zortrax M300 dual 3D printer. Metal printing capability available. 256 by 256 by 300, so it's the same as the Bamboo, just a little taller. Wi-Fi, USB, and Ethernet. Has blackout response system. Calibrates build platform with a let's see a little bit on this. This looks interesting. It's $5,000 on sale, so this is like a $6,000 printer, so it's on sale for $5,000 right now. It's an M200 Plus. I guess this is a video on how to set it up. So the top of it makes it awfully high. That's why it's got that extra height, I think. But I don't see two extruders. Oh wow. What's the difference with their speed mode versus their regular mode? Like if you download the firmware to go into their high-speed printing. Looks like it really came out well still. Wow, half the time. Literally 50% of the time. So 5 hours to 10 hours and 20 something minutes. That was less than half the time. That's pretty cool. And it has metal 3D printing. Where does this had dual extruder, I thought. Dual extrusion. Why does it? I don't see two extruders in there. 3D print steel parts. So you have to buy the full metal package, which makes sense. I'm sure it doesn't come with that, but at least I have that capability. That might be worth. Oh, there is two on there. That might be worth the price tag. 3D metal printing sets with both Ultrax full metal package contain everything. I didn't read that whole thing. No, that's not it. It's back here. Okay. Both Zortruck full metal packages contain everything you need to make steel parts. You son of a bitch. To make steel parts on your M300 Dual 3D printer. Oh, sorry, I need to place the M300. Oh, it comes with the different nozzle, the different hot end. And the different, I'm sure there are different tips if you're printing steel, especially compared to aluminum material. Then you pick that type of material. Really, ultra-fused. It's fascinating. I definitely like that it has that capability. I know there's after treatment that you have to do with these metal printers, but the fact that it's a regular 3D printer and it can do steel with a kit is pretty badass in my opinion. I think this is a serious contender. But yeah, you have to do the post-processing. I'm not sure what that exactly is, if it's the same as on other printers, which I have looked into. I haven't looked into it on this particular printer. It's the first time I'm seeing this one. Large workspace. I mean, it's an average workspace. 256, 300 is average. I mean, the QIDI does have a bigger space. I wish I could get it to work properly, and I've done a lot of stuff to try. I mean, they sent those new covers with the extra fans. I put more powerful fans. I put an additional fan. I have a whole different filtration system that circulates the air inside with a separate fan that I tapped into the fan wires to use. I added an extra chamber heater to try to get the chamber heat a little higher, a little faster. I did it as much as I could, and I put the best nozzles on it. It's got a tungsten one in there now that hasn't broken because they didn't use soft glass around it like $100 freaking Diamondback. I mean, I'm happy with the one on the bamboo, but that was just stupid. It was just so stupid. I'm sorry to rant about it, but it's just like staggeringly stupid. Large format models made with a desktop size 3D printer. You can design models in all types in CAD software that support exporting files to STL, which I use Fusion. You can totally do that. You can actually, there's no limitations on Fusion. If you do like the hobbyist one, that's free, the version of Fusion 360, you have to, each process on the CNC, you have to export separately. So it can't export like one whole process, one whole part that has multi-processes. If there's holes drilled and tapped separately from the part being machined, you have to process just the one process of machining the part. Or if there's multiple parts of machining the part, those have to go separately. And anytime there's a different tool being used, that has to be transferred separately. So it makes it kind of monotonous. When I start doing more intricate CNC parts, I'm going to do their plan, but they're a higher level membership, but it's significantly expensive. It's like almost $2,000 a year. I think they have one that's like $1,500, but it's substantial no matter what. It's over $100 a month. But you can do the 3D printing without that. You don't have to pay for separate. It's all one process. It just transfers it, which is cool. Main features is the suite two for dual extrusion technology. It doesn't look. I don't know if they separate. And I'd like to see the hot end temperature. 400 watt. Let's see. Dual material extruder with material jam detection, extruder cooling system, 2 fans cooling extruder, radial fan cooling print hot end dual material hot end platform, heated perforated glass material end stop, 2 times mechanical connectivity, Wi-Fi, Ethernet, USB, quad-core processor, touchscreen, a 4-inch. That's 800 by 480 pixel density with a camera. Software inbox printing. What is the printer? Okay. So, advanced technology with the system of dissolvable support structures, layer resolution 100 to 300 microns. That's not very high resolution for a printer of this caliber. For 0.4 millimeter. 0.016 inch nozzle. Minimum weld thickness 400 microns for 0.4 millimeter. So if I use a smaller print tip, that can probably do more precise stuff. But that's pretty precise. It's just not. For this level of printer, and I kind of expected it to be in the 50 to 100 micron or less. It's $5,000 printer. The printer, the side covers, Z-Suite, solder kit, a spool of Zortex metal material Z-PETG, a spool of Zortex material Z support premium, 2 spool holders, 1 material box, perforated platform, 1 glass platform, and a USB memory stick. But I'm wondering what their actual plate looks like on the inside. It doesn't have too many pictures, I don't think. Maybe there's a couple more. It doesn't show inside of it though. And where's the hot end temperature? Oh, here we go. Specifications. That would be helpful. There we go. Alright, wood volume, I know that. Dual extruder, I know that. Okay, where's the actual temperature? Okay, maximum printing temperature 310 Celsius. Maximum platform temperature 105. What? How is it printing metal at that temperature? That's not hot enough. Well, I just wasted my time reading all this. Anyways, this is like $5,000 on sale from $5,600. I don't think it's worth it after reading those specs. I am kind of disappointed, but what are you going to do? I thought that was a good one. Alright, let's close that. I was looking at one that was actually a lot less expensive that was capable of printing peak. The Ultimaker S3 is intriguing, but the S5 is really what I want to go with, and that's more expensive than I want to. That's like $9,000. It's basically like $10,000 by the time I get a couple of rows of peak. which is more than I want to spend. And this one is open at the top, which I don't like, especially for those high-end filaments. And that might be the one that has the 2 different temperature hot ends, which I think is really stupid. Yeah, see, like, so you can spend a lot of money on engineering grade printers. The Modix, that's the big 120, but I was looking at the big 60. I'm thinking about that one. Okay, this can stop right there. That's more than I needed. This part happens to be a whole BL Touch shield, like heat shield, but I just need the spacer, so I just need the bottom part of it. Let's see, what else? Vortex is the same one. Now that's 4100 there. 3896 with code, but 310 doesn't intrigue me. It's not going to print these high temperature materials that I want to print, like PEEK. I mean, when is industrial grade PEEK capable 3D printers? Because I don't know if everybody knows about this material, PEEK, but this stuff is supposedly strong enough to completely replace metal parts, steel parts. So I'm very intrigued by that. I'm looking into these printers because I want to be able to print with materials like that, and I thought I'd be able to get closer, at least the PPS and stuff like that. The QIDI has done pretty well with their filament, like the PA12 carbon fiber and the more engineering grade level stuff that they sell, but it's done not. See, this one is 480 Celsius with dual extruder, but this is probably a crazy expensive printer. PEEK 300. Yeah, you have to get a quote. It's definitely very expensive. If they don't even list the price, unless they might list it. Oh shit! I just shut that. God damn it. Let's see. No, my other printers were right there. What did I just do? CreateBot D1000, 35 grand. Yeah, that's not the ballpark I want to be in. Let's see. Anyways, so I'm gonna keep looking into this. I'll let you guys know what I end up deciding on. I'm open to any manufacturer. I mean, I even looked into the Bamboo X1E instead of C, the engineering printer, and it's $2,500, which is relatively. I mean, it's not relative. It is reasonable. It goes up to 320 Celsius, but the problem is that it's basically the same as the X1 carbon, or the X1C rather than the X1E. It's basically the same thing. The only thing is it's got a chamber heater, which I could add for $60. This is the chamber temperature is 300 and the extruder is 5. This is the kind of thing I'm talking about. Yeah, no, this is definitely hot enough. So this, I don't know why this doesn't advertise to be able to print metal, because if they could do it at 310, they could definitely do it at 500. Amazing precision, spectacular details, designed with industrial quality for high-performance 3D printing. Multi-material capable ABS, nylon, PC, PPSU, Ultim, and PEEK. That's the kind of stuff I want to print. So this is the level of printer that I need. Where is the price on this? I have to download a brochure or get a quote, so it's going to be expensive. Request it. Okay, you need all my information for a quote too. Let's just give it to them. I'll let you guys know how much this thing's going to cost. I'll mention it in one of my upcoming videos and see what they send me. Okay, but yeah, it's a 500 degree Celsius hot end. Okay, close. Request received. 500. It's 610 by 508 by 508 millimeter. If that's actually a big build volume, that's like 500. That's like 250 would be 10 inches. It's like 20 inches by 20 inches by 25 inches. 20 or more than that. It's actually a pretty good sized printer, bigger than it looks. Let me see what other printers they have. That was the 610 HT. Okay, the 310 Funmat, it's called. Well, that looks big too. That looks even bigger. Oh wow, this looks like a serious printer. Funmat Pro 310. It looks like it has multiple interior heaters, which is what I was trying to do, which is what I did on the QIDI. But I mean, it's just another heating element like the one that's in there. It's just external, and I ran the wire through. Actively heated thermostatic up to 100 degrees Celsius chamber, which I mean, I like the 300 better, but obviously 300 is a little excessive. I don't really need that much. Full size printing, 305 by 260 by 260. For the stuff I'm going to use the engineering filaments for, I don't really need it to be that big, but at the same time, I may want it to be that big at some point for some certain things. I mean, I'm going to keep the QIDI one though, and I'll probably take that extra heater out and leave the fan and stuff that I put all the fittings for it to make it into a filter fan and put it in there. But let me see if I can download the brochures and get all the prices. Okay, let's do that. My company name, the country is United States. Just let me download it. This is only for this actually just one printer. It's not for all of their printers, but yeah, that looks like a pretty serious, and it comes with a dry box. That's good, and it has the IDEX for the multi-material with the two different heads. They can mirror and all that stuff. Let's see. Let me get back. No, I think that didn't actually download it. Let me see if I'll just print this out. I'll print the other one. Okay, let's print that, and then I'll go back and look at the other ones. Alright, Funmat 410. Oh, and then there's the Funmat HT. I was looking at the 610 HT. What about the regular HT? That's for high temperature, I assume. This one I think I looked at before. This is the one I was serious about. It's a 90 degrees Celsius temperature in the chamber, but it's a 450 hot end, and it's a 160 build plate. So this is the one that I would like to get. And this is a 50 micron high resolution industrial grade 3D printer. So this one is more of what I'm looking for. This is like almost exactly what I'm looking for, and meets all the specs. I really was hopeful that the QIDI could be modified to be, and maybe it still can. I'll still make the hot end for it, and get the different. I'll get the different hot end and make the carriage for it, but I don't see it being. Shoot, did I just close this? What is my computer doing right now? No, I didn't close it. Okay, good. Constant chamber of 90 degrees Celsius, build plate of 160, and extruder of 450. That's more than enough. And this is good enough size. It's 260 by 260 by 260, so it's just a hair bigger than the bamboo. But this is the level of printer I want. From that HT. Let me see if I can find this for sale anywhere else and see how much it is. Let's go back to Google, and this is Intamsys Intamsys, Intamsys Funmat HT. Let's see. Yeah, it's around 5,000, 6,000. It's 5,500 right here on Matter Hackers. Those are minor. No, those are different models. The HT is not going to be any cheaper than that anyway, I don't think. So that's a little more that I wanted to spend, but you know what? For the specs on this, I'll spend it. And then by the time I add on all the stuff that I'd like to get, this is a nanopolymer adhesive. I would like to get a good adhesive for it, and then I'm going to add PEEK to it, and that's going to be probably another $1,000 in material, because I might even get the alternate also. 3D Tech Burma X PEEK. Half a kilogram is $345. I'd rather get a full kilogram. PEI 9085 blend. I'd like to check into that. Okay, they don't have any way to add that in. Let's see, this is a Matter Hackers. Alright, let me add this to the cart. I think I'm going to probably 1 to 2 weeks is a reasonable delivery time. I really like that it gets that hot, and let me just search the website for PEEK. Let's just do that in general. Maybe it'll show some printers that are capable of it. Here's the filament. Yeah, and that's that one. Oh, I was looking at this other. No, I think that's this Funmat HT and the Funmat HT 3D printer and PEEK spool bundle. And what's the size of that spool? Comes in an advanced thermal system design, which includes 90 to yes, I know all this. I just looked that up. What does it actually come with for the filament? How big is that roll? Anyways, I don't want to bore you guys to death. I'm gonna cut it short here. I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do with this printer, but I think this is the one I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna hold that for just a minute. I'm not gonna order it right this minute, because I do want to just look at the other options. I don't want to pull the trigger too fast and then, regret it and, not having done all my research. But, because sometimes I'm impulsive and I do that, and I am also very thorough in doing my research in a lot of scenarios, but when I don't, I always regret it afterwards. So I would rather just do my research completely before I order something, 5,000 or more, even less than that really. But look, I didn't do enough research on the Qidi. I ordered that because it had better specs than the bamboo. It had the higher hot end temperature. It had the heated chamber. It had multiple different things. But when I use my thermal camera, which I will do in a video, and I look at the outside of the bamboo while it's printing compared to the outside of the Qidi, it's letting out so much more heat that it's probably less effective heating inside, even with the heat. It probably means that heating device, it's just a small fan with a small coil. Like, I'll show you the part that I added. I don't know if you can see. Let me turn this around so I can see what you can see. Can you see it down in there, that little silver box in the corner with the fan on it? That's the heater. So it's just a small fan with like a little grid heater. That's all it is. And that's what they have in there. It's just in a plastic housing instead of a metal one. So, I mean, not that the metal housing makes much of a difference, because it's not getting hot enough to do anything to it, but it makes a difference having the chamber heated for sure, especially with these engineering grade filaments. It makes a big difference. So, unfortunately, Qidi has failed overall 110%. They've failed overall. I mean, their service was much better this last time. I'm just being honest, like I have the whole time about them and everybody else. Their service really sucked in the beginning. They didn't get back to me for a week. By the time they did, I had already found my own way to fix it. Anyways, the next time they got back to me the same day, and they sent a bunch of parts out that did help, but they helped, but they also exposed another flaw in their design, which, I mean, they fixed a couple things, but then they're not fixing these highlights. And if they do, they're going to have so many people to send new hot ends to. It's probably not realistically something that they're going to do. But if they do, that would be cause for comment, and that would be cause for me to make another video and acknowledge that, because as you've seen already, I will do that, and I'm happy to give good feedback on any company that deserves it. But I mean, I'm doing this and showing you guys so that you don't expect an engineering grade printer when you buy a Qidi X Max 3 and you don't get it, because even at the 350 level, it's not 420, it's not 500. They're not claiming it to be, but they're claiming it to be capable at 350 and 65 Celsius chamber temperature, 120 bed temperature, and it can't handle that. It just simply can't handle that, because I'm not even getting above the 65 Celsius with the second heater in there. It just gets up a little quicker, but it's not getting any higher than that. So I mean, it's not insulated, and it's plastic. It's not even a metal housing, so it doesn't maintain the temperature in the heater in the chamber very well, because this plastic is not made. It doesn't have the right insulating properties to maintain the temperature being inside of it without, like it shows on my thermal camera, all the heat's coming out. So anyways, my overall impression after several months with the Qidi X Max 3 is it is not worth the money at all. I should have bought a Creality K1 Max or something, or another Bamboo, and I would have had a third printer that actually works right, or I would have probably just bought the two Bamboos and the engineering grade printer, because I didn't need a third, basic filament printer. But maybe I will at some point, or maybe I'll sell one of them. The Qidi I would sell. I mean, then again, I don't want to torture anybody else with it. Anyways, it's not very flattering, this printer. It's unfortunate because it has a lot of good features, but they just have so many design flaws, and they didn't test it enough clearly, or they would have found these flaws the same as I did. I mean, this is the only printer I know of that has those two pieces that are threaded separately. I mean, threaded in from the top. This should all be one piece, and this shouldn't thread in. That should be one piece, and I'm tempted to thread it in and weld it. And I actually might do that. I might weld it in, because that's steel. I can just MIG weld that real quick, grind it back down smooth, and maybe I will do that. I don't know, but I'll probably break the ceramic by the time I'm done. So it's just something that I shouldn't have to be doing or thinking about. It's a design flaw. But anyways, I'm not very fond of the printer. I was getting more optimistic about it because they had stood up and made a couple of changes and sent me the parts to put those into mine, which was admirable, but in the long run, it just doesn't do what it says it should be able to do. Not very well, and not without a lot of failures and a lot of repairs and a lot of downtime. So it's not a good printer for what it's advertised for. Is it a good printer? Yes, it can print well. It can print not as good as the Bamboos, but it can print pretty close. I don't know about the Creality. I haven't bought one. I was considering it, but if I'm going to buy another printer, it's going to be an engineering grade printer, so that's why I'm looking at those. But overall, I don't recommend anybody buy this that expects anything higher than the PA12 carbon fiber that they sell, that prints at, I believe, 280 degrees Celsius, which the Bamboo can also print. Anyways, I just wanted to summarize the previous couple of videos I made about this printer with, some actual experience with it over several months, and over several months, the support has been bad and then good. So I guess it depends on the timing, and the quality of the printer has failed worse and worse as time goes by, even with the improvements that they did make. So that's the bottom line at the end of the day. It's just not what it's supposed to be. Alright, sorry Qidi, I wish I had better remarks. I wish she had a better printer. Alright guys, have a good one.